Hey guys, going to be talking about a new jet I have today. You know, when I crash a jet, just like my F-15 that I crashed yesterday, all the electronics are good and they can be used in another jet. So today we're going to be talking about a jet that I made out of another jet that I crashed in the past. And what we have here is the Mig-21. Now the first thing I want to show you, actually let me go backwards. This is the Mig-21 from Hobby Lobby. It comes in an ARF kit. I got it completely bare. All it has is the foam kit. It's foam and balsa wood. It's just a foam kit. It comes with the fan unit, but no motor. And I actually used a different fan unit with a different motor. So, you know, I used one from an old kit. So, like I said, it's I'll show you in a second. It's down here. That's why I keep looking at it. But it's just the foam kit. You got to put in all your electronics. It only requires 2 servos, but I use 3. It requires 1 servo for the elevator, or elevators, it's a split elevator, and 1 servo for the ailerons. Now I had a lot of trouble getting the ailerons to work on 1 servo because they're supposed to come together in the middle of the fuselage, and 1 servo is supposed to move that cord back and forth, the push rod. The push rods aren't long enough to get to the middle of the plane. And the instruction manual, as you see here, I used it as a glue mat, so it's ripped off the first page. But the instruction manual, let's just flip through it. Excuse me. First page, okay, a lot of writing, right? Second page, a lot of writing. Third page, a lot of writing. Back page, a lot of writing. Now, not to say this isn't helpful. I read through it and there was some helpful tips and information about the plane. There's not a single diagram or picture in the whole instruction manual. There's nothing showing you how to do anything or how anything's supposed to look. So I looked through the instruction manual, I read it, I looked at it, and then I threw it out. I used it as a glue mat. And I decided to build the plane myself, however I decided to build it. So here we have the Mig-21, and I'll explain to you a couple things about it. First off, as you can see, I should have done something different. And as you can see, the 2 holes in the wings here, these are the aileron servos, which they wouldn't fit in the wing without sticking out. So I had to cut a hole where the the control arm moves. And what I should have done differently is I should have flipped the servos upside down, and I should have had them sticking out the bottom of the wing, because nobody really looks at the bottom of the plane. Most people look at the top of the plane. So I should have put those on the bottom. Would have made the plane look better, but that's okay. Other than that, it's all together, and I'll explain to you how it's supposed to work. Like I said, the aileron servo is supposed to be in the middle of the fuselage here. It's supposed to be a single servo controlling both ailerons. Like I said, I couldn't get that to work because the ailerons have a pre-installed push rod on them. And the push rod goes to just about here, where the servo is. It's not long enough to get to the middle of the body. And there were no parts or push rods or anything included in the kit to make it any longer. So I couldn't use 1 servo. So as I said, this kit is technically supposed to use 2 servos, 1 for the elevator, 1 for the ailerons. I used 3 because I put 1, 2, and then I put 1 in the body for the elevators. There's no rudder servo. There is no rudder on this plane or jet. So it doesn't look too bad, but as you can see, my cutting job's not so nice. I did this one a little bit nicer than I did this one, but it's not going to affect flight at all. You know, it's just not so pretty. But I'm not one of the people that care about how pretty a plane looks. I just care about flying it and having fun flying it. So if I built like a expensive, balsa wood kit or something, then I would care how it looked if I was doing all the monocoat myself and all that. But for a cheap foam plane, I really don't care how it looks. I just want to fly it and have fun with it. Now, one nice thing about this plane is it is really light. My battery probably weighs almost as much as the whole plane. The wings are hollow. And at first I thought this was bad, and we'll see when I fly how it holds up. But at first I thought this was really bad. I'm like, they felt really weak. Now that they're on the plane, they feel really strong. And one of the reasons is there's balsa wood, if you can see in here, see that balsa wood going from the right to the left of the plane? That balsa wood goes through the body and sticks into the wing out about to here on each side, and that's glued into the wing, and then the wings are pushed on and glued to the body. So they're actually pretty stuck on here and pretty darn sturdy. I'm pulling them apart. Doesn't feel like they're coming off. So, you know, although they're hollow, that's a good thing. It keeps the plane lighter. So as long as they hold on good and they stay sturdy, that's okay. Now it's kind of weird to have that balsa wood going right in front of my fan. It's kind of blocking the wind, you would think. But I turned up the fan to full throttle. It feels like it's got a lot of thrust. That balsa wood in front of there doesn't seem to be causing too much problems, but it's definitely causing some different wind patterns in there than if it wasn't there. So it's a little bit awkward. Now in the tail here, the elevators, you can't see it either, but there's also a larger, it's a thicker, instead of being like the thickness of my finger, it's like from here down to here. Pretty thick, about 1.5 inches thick, and it comes out to about here, and it's cut, it's shaped with the tail end here, the horizontal stab. So there's a balsa wood piece, as you can see here, going from the fuselage into each side of the horizontal stabs. So that's holding that on. So it's real nice and sturdy. That shouldn't fall off either. And then I have my, see if we can see it. We have the push rods here on either side. See that one? And this one? And then inside, the push rods go up. And if you can see in the very top of the plane here, way up top, that's where my servo is. I have it glued and secured in to the top there, and it holds both of the push rods from either side in a little connector, and that one servo moves both the elevators. So it's up out of the way, up in the top of the plane. There's like a little top groove of the plane here. It's up in here, right around this area, way up in the top, out of the way of the airflow. So that's where the elevator servo is. And then we've got our E-Flight Delta V 460 motor, 4,000 kV. It's going to be running on a 4-cell battery. I've got new Turnigy Nanotech 4-cell batteries. They're 2,650 mAh, 25 to 50 C. Now I find that kind of weird that they have such a range in their C rating, but they're 25 to 50 C. This is just a bottom cover, which I still have to add on. Fits on there just perfect. It kind of fits on there snug, but I need to glue that on. And that'll be my last bottom cover to cover up the bottom. And then up here we have a magnetic hatch, and it's magnetic in the back where I'm pulling off. And then in the front it kind of sticks in, if I can get it on camera here. And then it magnetics on. I probably put a little piece of tape here when I fly it just because I don't want that falling off. Pull that up and off. And then all you can see here is my battery connector. And then here I have a hole cut in the plastic here, and that's where 2 servo lines are going to my aileron servos. I have them coming through the hollow. I cut a hole, don't know if you can see, you probably can't see it on camera, but I cut a hole in the fuselage where the hollow of the wing is, stuck the aileron wire leads through, and they come up through here. So they are in the wind path, but not bad. You see those 2 wires in there? They're coming from my servos on each side of the body that are in my ailerons. So they come up through here and they go to my receiver. I've got an AR500 in here, and then I've got an E-Flight 60 amp ESC in here, and then that's going, you know, my lead here. Plenty of room. The Turnigy Nanotechs are pretty skinny batteries. They're long, but they're pretty skinny. So I tested it out. They fit just fine. I've got to put a piece of Velcro in here so it'll stick down. But other than putting a piece of Velcro in there, which I have, it was included with the kit. That was included, a strip of Velcro for the battery and the plane. Other than putting in a piece of Velcro and gluing on this bottom hatch, this plane is done. I've tested all the control surfaces. They're working perfect, and it's ready to go. So this is the Hobby Lobby. I need to put on some decoration. It's pretty bare right now. Either put on some stickers or maybe have Cassie paint it or something, but it's foam, so I'm kind of scared to put any paint on it. But got it all lined up really nice. Let me see if I can get it at the camera just perfect. It's hard to line it up with the camera. There we go. It's all lined up perfectly straight. I got it on there just right. I measured and everything just perfect. So should be perfectly nice to fly. And get this up in the air hopefully for you guys tomorrow. I really hope to get it flying tomorrow. One last thing I'm concerned about is look at the bottom. There's not much to hold on to. I can't really hold here because this is that hatch that comes off, and I'm going to glue that on. But it's not that strong of a hold. Maybe hold it up farther. I'm not really sure how I'm going to hold this thing when I hand launch it, because I got to have one hand on the transmitter and then I got to throw it with the other hand. And right now the weight's not bad. When I put a battery in here, this is going to be weighted down a lot, so it's going to be hard to hold it like I'm holding it right now. So I got to figure out how I'm going to hold this damn thing and launch it. But I'm expecting this thing to go faster than the Habu, honestly. At least as fast as the Habu. Can it stand up to it? Will it fly good? I don't know. We'll see. It has no rudder, so it's not going to be able to do all the tricks that the Habu does. It can't do knife edges. It can't do hammer heads or some other things because it has no rudder. But should be fun to fly, and we'll show you guys tomorrow what happens.